Now, from the moments before the Miami-Iowa kickoff, here is Jackaroo.
Keith, in the locker room for the Miami team, it was uncharacteristically silent. Dennis Erickson stood up and he said, "You are absolutely playing not for yourselves, but for Southern Florida. And because of that, you're playing the biggest game of your career." He said, "Whatever example we set tonight will be what Southern Florida will follow. So let's make sure that there are winners." Then Michael Barrow stood up and said, "There's no tomorrow. Let's make sure we're winners."
Iowa will get the football team underway on the offensive side with Danon Hughes and Harold Jesper waiting to receive the kickoff from Dane Pruitt. Dane Pruitt, of course, new to the job as place kicker because Carlos Huerta held that position with the Miami Hurricanes throughout his 4-year career. Hughes and Jesper are standing at the 5-yard line. They play on real grass here in Iowa City. And the game is on, the fourth meeting between these two teams. It goes to Hughes at the 4. A hole gets him out to about the 24-yard line, and there Iowa will go to work. And at quarterback for the Iowa Hawkeyes will be the senior, Jim Hartley, 6'2", 210-pounder from Woodstock, Illinois. And lining up behind him will be number 33, Marvin Lampkin at the deep back, and Lou Montgomery at the fullback position with Danon Hughes at a wingback. And he is a very dangerous member of the offensive unit. Alan Cross is the big tight end. Front for the Iowa Hawkeyes, big enough. Not the biggest in the land, but big enough. Their question tonight, hanging over them, is whether or not they can handle the speed of the attackers from Miami. They did not against North Carolina State. Out of the shotgun, immediately going to something new. Ball is handed off to Montgomery, the fullback. So Hayden Fry remains Hayden Fry. He starts with something you might not expect, but working from the shotgun will give perhaps Hartley some relief from this group of defenders for Miami, led by Rustin Medeiros, one of the top defensive ends in the country. The linebackers are all terrific. They can run. Smith is the slowest, and he's a mere 4'6". The secondary, Ryan McNeil, is the leader of that crowd. Some say the best corner in the country, if not the one of the best. No room for Ryan Perry as he moves around, and the ball is kept by Hartley, thrown for Antilla, and the pass is off his hand, incomplete. Danon Hughes, who works at the wingback spot, it starts to develop what looks like a wingback counter, and then Hughes lets it fly. Well, with a reverse back to Hughes, and Hughes throws the ball. Hughes is a minor league baseball player with the Milwaukee Brewers franchise. The first two plays out of the box for Iowa. Hayden Fry throws from the shotgun. Secondly, he comes out with a trick play, which he told us he would have in the bag. Well, he's doing exactly what I asked him about yesterday, and he wouldn't admit it yesterday in our conversation that he would try to strike early, try to find something where he could hurt him before Miami got organized. This is Montgomery, the 210-pound fullback from Waterloo, and he moves the ball across the 30 to the 32, and that leaves him a couple of yards short of the first down.
The shovel pass forward to Montgomery. This is a whole new game plan that Iowa has in this week as opposed to last week.
They do fail, however, to pick up their first down, and Scott Fisher comes in to punt. It's a low-line drive. It hits on the soft grass and will roll dead just inside the 30 and down at the 28-yard line of Miami. That will be a 40-yard punt. So Gino Torretta will come into the ball game now. He is the senior from Pinole, California, remarkably 15-1 as the starting quarterback. The offensive unit Torretta will be directing for the first time this season features starting at what will be a tailback position perhaps, but he is not a true tailback. Kevin Williams is a little bit of everything, but primarily a wide receiver. Rudy Barber is the only starter showing up tonight along the offensive front for the Miami Hurricanes. The other people are hurt. There's Kevin Williams, who moved from the listed tailback position out to the wide spot, takes the ball, coming across the middle. But he is a fine running back, and if you get him the ball in traffic, he can make things happen. The defensive unit for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Mike Wells is the ringleader of that bunch, and they're pretty good. They're going to have to be tonight. Ike Daly and Teddy Joe Faley need to have a better ball game, too, than they had last week. The secondary people have a little better than average speed, but you don't want to get into a foot race with Miami. There is good pressure from the front by the Iowa Hawkeyes, and Larry Jones, carrying out of the fullback or tailback or the solo back position, however you want to call it, is smothered by the Iowa defense, led by number 64, Mike Wells. He's a 280-pound junior from Arnold, Missouri.
Keith, there's no doubt that Iowa was embarrassed by the way they played last week. They were playing on artificial surface. They're not the fastest team around. They feel much more comfortable on grass, and at home, you'll see a big improvement out of this team here tonight.
It is 3rd down and 5 for Miami. Nobody behind Torretta. Lets it go. Williams on the run. Over his head, incomplete. But you know what he showed? He showed he could outrun the Iowa defender.
He is the fastest man on the Hurricane team, and Torretta likes to throw deep. That just sends a message for the rest of the evening. The Iowa defensive secondary better play the entire field.
Paul Snyder, a senior, is in for his first punt. And Harold Carl Jesper goes back for the Hawkeyes. Little pressure there. The kick, however, is a beauty. Jesper all the way to the 11, back to the 15 and down there. 56-yard punt, 4 yards return, 12:01 to go first quarter.
And Hayden Fry have come out firing. They tried to block the punt. He has ran a reverse pass on the first 3 plays, a shotgun the first play out of the box. He is holding nothing back here this evening.
Now let's see if he goes into the attack mode of counting on it. He's trying to use the big offensive unit, playing a game with it. He didn't get anything there. Here's Johnson.
Thanks, Keith. USC and San Diego State, 31-31 tie. Andy Trakas misses the 55-yard field goal. He also missed from 30 yards earlier, and it winds up tied. Back to Keith Jackson.
Second down and 10 for the Iowa Hawkeyes at their own 15. Coming wide, Antilla. Tight end standing up, give them the appearance of Cripps at the top of the picture, but number 71 comes flowing in. That's Kenny Lopez, and he decks Marvin Lampkin for a loss on the play.
The strengths of these teams, Iowa offensively, is their experience. 10 of the 11 starters on offense, fifth-year seniors. And for Miami, their team speed and quickness. What Hayden Fry has done in the early part has used that speed and quickness against Miami. Misdirection, the reverse play, he had his man wide open, just didn't hit him.
They're down in 12 as a result of Lopez' fine defensive play. Out of the shotgun, Hartley standing on his 4, throws it underneath the lefty. He is slowed by one man and then brought down. Jesse Armstead, the senior from Dallas, Texas, was the first man to get a piece of him. Now the Iowa Hawkeyes will have to punt it away on 4th down. 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first quarter of play. And the Hawkeyes, who tried to open big, now are turned away by the Miami defense. This is Scott Fisher to punt. And the man back to take it is Kevin Williams. He'll have no chance to return it. It's a relatively ordinary punt. It's just short of midfield and backs up, leaving it around the Iowa 48-yard line. So Dennis Erickson, who has had a remarkable record during his short time at the University of Miami, but he will go, like some of the others, back home to a place without a home. It was shattered in the hurricane.
His home was severely damaged in the hurricane, but as he mentioned during the week, not nearly as bad as some of the other people in South Florida.
They have put the football at the Iowa 45. It is first down in Miami with 3 wideouts to the bottom, nobody in the backfield behind Coretta. They make you play the whole football field. Spread you out, Coretta pulls it down and takes off. He's down to the 40. That's a pickup of about 5 before Brett Bielema brings him down for the Hawks. Texas A&M with that swarming defense open against Stanford for second today. They're going to be one of the better teams in the country. Penn State, Cincinnati scored halftime is a surprise. Lamar Thomas checks into the ball game. Lamar Thomas, who has been in the center of a whirlwind over and beyond Andrew recently, came in last night. He's in uniform, and the ball is whipped across to Horace Copeland, lanky senior from Orlando, who makes the catch. And it appears he may well have a first down. There is Lamar Thomas, who is a real player.
Led the team in receiving last year. A big play receiver. First, the Hurricanes have 2 or 3 different ones. Thomas can break it, Copeland, and Kevin Williams.
We will discuss later in the ball game with athletic director Dave Maggott the circumstances involving Lamar Thomas. They are a little complicated. He's out of there now. Miami has the first down at the 35 of Iowa. High tackle move for Miami. Keith Fingers got one ahead of the snap. Big senior from Holiday, and that'll back him up 5. This is what Bob was talking about, I think, at the very beginning, when he alluded to the fact that they may be out of sync a little bit, especially in the early going because of a lack of practice.
Good ball. Ball start.
Not only did the Hurricanes miss a lot of practice, but Lamar Thomas, number 36, because of some problems that he had, missed about 2.5 weeks. He did attend some meetings, but didn't practice with the team, came up late last night, and because he's a 5th-year senior, knows the offense very well, and he did stay in shape.
First down and 15. Coretta gets a little heat, pass and puts over the 30, and the pass is caught by Coleman Bell. Remember Coleman Bell? He was the man that made that huge catch for Miami in the winning drive against Florida State last year. To go further on this Lamar Thomas story, he had been indicted in Miami for having received some monies allegedly illegally through the Pell Grant system. It's a bit of a complicated story, but he and Haraguchi both are here tonight, having been given a reprieve. It is second down and 4. Coretta very quickly. Williams loses, almost intercepted, incomplete. Here's John.
Early surprise, if only because last year it was 81-0 Penn State, but here David Small, 4-yard touchdown run. They're tied, Cincinnati and Penn State at halftime. Back to Keith.
Ball rests just inside the 29-yard line. It is third down and a long three. Toretta 3 out of 5 for 24 yards so far. The home folks get into the ball game now with a little noise. Hawkeyes go after Toretta. The pass is thrown. Caught by Kevin Williams. Shakes the tackler. Gets away from Book. Inside the 10. Down just inside the 7. First and goal for Miami.
Well, Iowa's coming after him. The linebackers here and here are going to blitz. Here's Williams. He just goes down and break to the outside. And his ability to run after he catches the football. Blitz, man-man coverage in the secondary. A good throw by Toretta. And Williams is one of the most dangerous receivers and return people in the country.
As he said, I can do it all. Give it to me. First down and goal for Miami. First threat by either team in the ball game. Toretta rolls it out. Looks into the end zone. Nobody there. Now he throws. Pass is caught by Coleman Bell. And he's knocked out just short. Just short of the goal line. So just before he crossed the line of scrimmage, Toretta dumped it to his tight end.
Bell was very alert that play, Keith. Toretta just making something out of nothing. The receivers were covered. Iowa doing a great job in the end zone. Blue just barely gets the sack. And then Toretta makes something out of nothing and gets it down inside the 1-yard line.
Second down and goal. Larry Jones behind Toretta. Jones. Touchdown. Penalty flag. Hold it.
Looks to me like, Keith, the man in motion may have been moving toward the line of scrimmage.
Jim Kimberlin, Big Ten, is the referee. Mixed crew. Illegal procedure. Motion, and you're right. Ball will come back 5. So Miami's first touchdown wiped out by penalty.
Again, Keith, the fact that they did miss some time practicing, I think, has another effect. Takes a touchdown away from them. Not lining up properly. Motion going across the line of scrimmage. Hayes looking at his next offensive series.
Ball just outside the 5, where it's second down and goal, Miami. Hawkeyes may have penetrated the line of scrimmage. Miami might have moved. That's Jim Thompson.
The quarterback.
Gets Miami.
Toretta. Take a look at Toretta on this play. If you can see, watch his left arm. If you can see it from here, saw his elbow come back. He's trying to give some kind of signal to one of the wide receivers. But a sharp movement by the quarterback when you're at the line of scrimmage is a flag. You cannot do that.
Third penalty against the Hurricanes. The ball now is just outside the 10 on second down and goal. Toretta's pass, thrown hard, incomplete. Pass was intended for Lamar Thomas. Now the home folks are in the ball game.
The outside receiver, Thomas, just slants inside. That's James, number 5, that's right there to put the hit on him. And this Iowa Hawkeye team is getting fired up with each play when they turn the Hurricanes away from that goal line.
Young kicker Dane Pruitt looping up. It is third down. This is the 9th play in this possession for Miami. Toretta's pass to the end zone. It is incomplete. Intended for Coleman Bell, and Tyrone Boudreau, a linebacker, went back and kept him away from the ball.
There's a look at Bell. He's just going to go straight up the field. He's working on the linebacker, but Boudreau is using the end zone to help him, but he may have interfered with him, Keith. He hit him a little bit soon, as far as I was concerned.
27-yard try by Dane Pruitt. Pops it up and knocks it downtown. So it's 7:09 to go in the first quarter. The Miami Hurricanes go to the lead 3-0 in Iowa City. The Miami Hurricanes leading 3-0 at 7:09 to go in the first quarter. We'll kick it off. And the same people are back for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Damon Hughes and Harold Jesper. Hughes, 6'2", 202, an outstanding athlete. Pruitt, who has come to Miami, he is actually a redshirt freshman, but the thing that's entertaining about it, he is from Birmingham, Alabama. Low liner. Doesn't bounce a whole lot on this grass. It's picked up at the 6-yard line by Hughes. Got a hold at the sideline. And he takes it across the 35-yard line. It'll be first down for the Hawkeyes. Good return by Damon Hughes. Now here's John again.
Florida State and Duke. Charlie Ward, the first-year quarterback there as a junior. The nice toss here to Duquesne McCorvey. The touchdown. They lead 24-7 at halftime. Chief.
Next week, Florida State gets a little better taste of ACC. They go to Death Valley and see Clemson, but Clemson struggled today against a good Ball State team. 35-yard line, first down for Iowa, 3-0 Miami. It's Montgomery, the single back behind Hartlieb. Hartlieb, the big runner, loves that ball out to Ryan Terry. Terry working out the backfield, stepping up into a slot back position. And he's picked up a first down for the Hawkeyes at the 47.
Iowa in their first two possessions were 3 plays, and out and a punt. Moving the pocket a little bit. Hayden Fry not giving up the Hurricanes a target. Terry, the backup running back, picks up their first down of the ball game.
To some degree, he's doing what Dennis Erickson does with his offense. He's moving that back up into a receiver position. And it worked out. Hartley sees nobody available, pulls it down, takes off. And his legs are taken away after about a 6-yard pickup. Here's Jackaroo.
Keith, you know, Hayden Fry is well known for a lot of his impression of family traditions on his Iowa Hawkeye teams. You know, they've done the hokey pokey, they do the swarm when they come out. Well, it's been so impressive on this team that, believe it or not, 80 of the team members stayed here in Iowa City all summer to work out together. And they hope that it'll pay off dividends tonight.
All right, Jack Paul Kuyaba is in at fullback, replacing Montgomery. Hartley turns the ball to Ryan Terry. And Terry, a big guy looking for a place to play. 205-pound sophomore from Steubenville, Ohio. Hammers in there and gets another Iowa first down.
In the middle of that offensive line, the center is Devlin, number 60, preseason All-American, fifth-year senior, and the rest of them. Peroni is in there, Belisar is in there, 45 is Darren Smith. A good surge by that Iowa offensive line.
Two-back set now with Montgomery coming back to join Ryan Terry, who looks pretty good so far. Now they'll split it. Need to keep somebody back. The help your quarterback. Hartley pulls it down. A lot of green grass. Goes to the 35. And he will pick up 5. Hartley had 8 rushes for 66 yards last week. One of those, that total yardage was 1 run for 37 against North Carolina State. He's the runner.
He's the brother of Chuck. Chuck Hartley played for Hayden Fry. Was all Big Ten quarterback for a couple of years. And Jim Hartley is a fifth-year senior. Waited his turn, and this is his first year to start for the Hawkeyes.
And younger brother John is a starting defensive end. So the Hartleys have written some rather strong language into Iowa football history, haven't they? Sure. Second down and 5. Timeout. Wants to call. Time remaining, first quarter, 4:49. Miami 3, Iowa nothing. Close volunteers were at all the gates here at Iowa Stadium as the people came tonight hoping to collect $1 average from each person, which would amount to some $70,000. Because the Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund is desperately in need of money to help the people of South Florida. And nobody is more concerned about it than that young man right there. Nobody. All right, 4:49 to play in the first quarter. Miami leading 3-0 in Iowa, now trying to mount a threat. They have it second down and 5 at the Miami 35. Hartley turns, hands inside. Ball rolling around. It came loose, and Miami has recovered it. Ryan Terry lost the football, and it looks like Caesar. Mark Caesar might have been the man to come up with it. The big guy from Newark, New Jersey.
Take a look from behind the Miami defense. 99 is Caesar. That's Barrow, number 56, the inside linebacker. The ball there to the right. Looks like Caesar, number 99. He's wearing that number in honor of Jerome Brown. Jerome Brown was a former Hurricane, died recently as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles in a car accident.
Donnell Bennett checks into the ball game for Miami for the first time. He is the single back. He has the ball, and he's hammered right along the line of scrimmage. The defense led by Brett Bielema. He got the first hit on him. Tomorrow here on ABC Sports, the PGA Tour, the Greater Milwaukee Open, 4 Eastern, 3 Central, and Pacific. And the scoreboard at the conclusion of the third round of play today read Mark Brooks on top. Will be presented by Sharks tomorrow here on ABC Sports. Attendance in this ball game tonight, 70,397. As Ferrara fires a bullet, caught by Copeland, and it's first down Miami at the 45. The crowd, incidentally, tonight, Bob, is a new record at 70,397. The old Kinnick Stadium record being 70,389. That was set in 1990 when the Iowa State Cyclones came calling.
Well, let's hope that they all put $1 in the bucket. And not only the people that were injured in South Florida, but also the people in Louisiana that were injured by the storm last week.
Displaced, my goodness. Back goes Toretta, lets it go. Kevin Williams, and it's way, way beyond the reach of anybody. Racing downfield also was Jonathan Harris, and Gino just let it fly, and I don't think anybody had a chance at it.
Williams stopped running at about 15 yards. He says, I haven't got my man beat, and Gino threw the ball about 20 yards downfield. I can't reach it, so I'm going to save my breath.
Second down and 10 now. The ball is just short of the 45 on the Miami side of the field. Some rotation on that football. Reels it in, and it's down at the Iowa 40, and it's the first down.
Copeland is an outstanding athlete, Keith. He All-American track player at the Big East Conference Outdoor Championship. He set a record for the long jump, won the 100-meter dash, won the high jump, and anchored the 4x100 relay team.
He's caught 3 balls tonight for 34 yards.
He could have won that track meet by himself. Yes,
well, he is one of the prime reasons I think they get the back quarter in the line. Somebody fumbles the snap, dives on it, and covers it himself. Gino is not a gimme when it comes into that quarterback job physically. He's 6'3", he weighs 205 pounds, and he has an aggressive mentality. He's not easy to handle.
Ball was up there. Gino may have pulled out a little too soon. Shredder on the ball.
Move it back to the 43.
One turnover. Iowa with a fumble that gave Miami the possession.
Second down and 13. Sideline to Lamar Thomas. Thomas catches the ball, but he is well defended on that side of the field by Scott Plate. And goal corner. And Thomas is down and hurt. So Thomas is down for the moment. Well, we've got time out on the field. Let's check in with John Saunders again.
Thank you, Keith. Syracuse and East Carolina. Syracuse looking for revenge, and the missile. Kadri Ismail goes the distance here, 64 yards for the touchdown. Ismail, of course, is the brother of the Rocket, and a missile has him on top, 21-0. Back to Keith.
And we're going to see them next week, at least Bob and I will, as they meet the Texas Longhorns in the Dome. At the conclusion of the game, we'll select the Chevrolet most valuable player from each team for the 22nd year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program. $1,000 will be donated to the general scholarship fund of each school.
There's Lamar Thomas walking off the field very gingerly. It looked as though he may have injured his knee on this play.
Well, he has not been involved, has he, with any hard hitting?
He hasn't been practicing. It looks like Plate, number 6, may have rolled over on his lower leg. We mentioned he just joined the team last night. He didn't fly up with the team yesterday afternoon. Came up last night. Has not practiced in over a week.
Right now, it's third down and 5 for the Canes. Iowa shows blitz. The backer backs out. The ball is deflected. Ryder spinner by Jeff Nelson, number 93. Fourth down.
Bill Frazier, the defensive coordinator for the Hawkeyes, said he wants to mix it up on Tourette. He wants to rush him some and then drop back some.
Paul Schneider, whose first kick was 56 yards, is now onto the field to punt it for Miami. Kicked it away and carries into the end zone. So that's a 35-yarder. He was trying to knock it inside the 5, and then a little too much air under it, and it carried over to the end zone. So we've got 2:04 to play in the first half, and Miami leads it 3-0. Here's Jack.
Keith, I checked with Dr. John Uribe, the orthopedic surgeon for the Miami team, and he says Lamar Thomas is showing a twisted knee, but he says, I can't see anything really major wrong with him. He says he may be a little timid because he hasn't worked out. He says right now the kid's just a little scared.
Yeah, those hard hats make a large pumping sound when you're not used to them.
Sure do. Sometimes those preliminary examinations, you really don't know anything until the next day.
Hartley back, lets it go. Pass is taken by Yamaha from backfield. There's a safety flag across the field. So before we give you the numbers on that play, let's check with Jim Kimmerling. And we're deciding that. Here are the officials. The referee is Jim Kimmerling from the Big Ten. Umpire Don Serra from the Big East. It's a mixed crew. Head linesman is Stephen Payman. Line judge Jerry Height. Field judge Terry Anderson. Side judge George Cullen. And the back judge is Mike Nevis.
Illegal formation. 6 men on the line, on the offense, still first down.
Well, that was called against Miami earlier. You might expect it from the Canes since they've been shortened because of circumstances in practice and disrupted from their home. But Iowa had it called on them last week, and they get it dinged again this week. You got to have 7 people on the line of scrimmage.
Toretta getting a little ankle job there over his shoe. You normally tape their ankles
to his game. Yes, it's Montgomery popping through a hole. You got a roughing the quarterback call back up the field. So there's a big penalty call here against Miami. The play was good for a first half. Jesse Armstead is the man flagged for decking Hartlieb, the Iowa quarterback.
Personal ball. On the defense.
Well, Montgomery is the fullback. What an outstanding player. Now Armstead, top left, bangs into the quarterback. The ball is gone. Watch this move right here. He jumps over the defensive man, but Armstead, take a look at this jump. Watch this athletic move by a fullback, 6 foot, 210 pounds. One of the top fullbacks in the Big Ten. No excuse for Armstead plowing into Hartlieb.
The penalty puts the football out at the 42-yard line. First down for the Hawkeyes. Here they come. Looks like number 45, Darren Smith, is in the neutral zone, but I guess he got back because I don't see a flag. And pick up on the play, maybe lost a yard. Darren Klein put the hit on Montgomery. Klein is a junior from Aurora, Colorado.
Sonny Lubick, defensive coordinator. Here's your free safety. Whenever the free safety moves up that far, you know that the linebackers are going to blitz. The free safety's up there to cover the back out of the backfield, and if he moves up that tight, if you're a quarterback, you better know when something's coming.
Shotgun on second down and left. Hartley pulls it down and takes off. And gets the midfield. He's going to be short the first down. Number 29, Casey Greer, the strong safety, came in a hurry to bring down the Iowa quarterback.
Shotgun. Didn't show this last week. It's a quarterback draw. The lineman knew it was coming. Hartley gets upfield. This is third carry, 20 yards on the evening.
It is third down and a long two. 2 and a half. Time taken down in quarter number 1. Hartley has time. Throws down the middle. Pass is not intercepted. It ricocheted into the arms of the Miami man. The Iowa receiver fell down. Lost his footing, and so it is fourth down.
Well, he fell down, Keith, because the ball was so far thrown behind him. He tried to get back for it, but he was open. He may not have been where he should have been. He was much further to the inside, and Hartley was throwing the ball outside. Here's trouble right here.
Mr. Williams, young man from Texas. Kick is away. Right to him at the 15. Fair catch. 3 black shirts back there looking into the eye. 35-yard punt. No return. And you got 1 pick remaining on the first quarter clock. There was a serious threat of rain middle of the afternoon. In fact, the game down at Ames today was, I understand, interrupted because of a fierce thunderstorm. But we have a lovely evening in Iowa City tonight at Kinnick Stadium. It is stocked. New record crowd of 70,397. This will be the final play of the first period. Loretta whips it. Good to the 20. And A.C. Tellison, who will become more involved with the Miami offense now that Lamar Thomas is injured. He's 6'4", 205-pound sophomore. Nothing Miami lead as we go to the second quarter of play. Kinnick Stadium, Iowa City, University of Iowa, home stadium. The visitors with second down at about a yard and a half as we start this second quarter of play. Well, this is just short of the 25-yard line. They go for it on the ground, and they do not get it. There will be a loss on the play of a half a yard as Larry Jones is smothered. Maurier Crane led the defensive surge.
Take a look at the surge by the Hawkeyes. If the Hurricanes have a problem, it's in their offensive line. They've got a lot of young guys starting there, and the Hawkeyes take advantage. They led the Big Ten in sacks last year with 61.
Lamar Thomas is back. He wasn't hurt too badly, was he? It is third down and 2. Penalty flag comes out of the referee's pocket. Jim Kimberly. Against Miami. So that'll make it third and 7.
What I said in the opening, Keith, emotionally, they're ready to play. They need to play. It's healthy for them. Physically, they're going to have some problems. They're going to misfire. Their timing is not going to be there. And Iowa is going to play much better. And that's why Dennis Erickson is looking like he is, because he knows he's got a problem. And he knew it. He said they weren't ready to play.
Lamar Thomas checks out. Tellison comes in for the Hurricanes. Third and 7. Ball is on the 19. Coretta down the sideline. Hits Copeland with it. Copeland has 2 men to deal with. And they wrestle him down at about the 40-yard line, but it's enough for a first down. He is a dynamite receiver, isn't he?
Talking about Copeland and all that he has done in that track meet up there, they said, since you won the 100 and you won the long jump, you won the high jump, and you also anchored that relay team, so what about the decathlete? He says, I can't do it. He says, I'm afraid of heights. The pole vault will get me.
Kansas looking pretty good. 10 out of 16, 118 yards for Coretta so far in the ball game. Gino throws hard, and Copeland makes the X and makes the catch. That looks like another first down. It is. Did you throw the ball that hard? Did you mark up your receivers?
I'd love to throw the ball that hard.
First down for the Canes on the Iowa side of the field now. Just short of the 49-yard line. They lead 3-0. And this is Larry Jones. Jones was the MVP in the bowl game last year, but he's been pretty well handled so far. Mike Daly on the tackle.
So look at what happened in the first quarter. Take a look at the total yards, 98 for Miami, 97 of them through the air. And for Iowa, they got a pretty good balance, 42 rushing and 25 passing. One turnover in the first quarter, the Iowa fumble.
It does not appear that the run is going to be much of a factor in this ballgame. Whatever happens offensively for them is going to start with a pass. And the Iowa man, the Miami man over on the left side of the line stood up. Iowa man stepped in. It was Kip Vickers, the tackle, who stood up. So little miscues continue to bite us.
That's the fifth time that Miami's had a procedure or illegal movement penalty, and we're just into the second quarter. You mentioned, Keith, about they're going to be able to throw better than they're going to be able to run. It's much easier to pass block at this point of the season, especially when you've missed some time, than it is to run block and get the timing and the coordination of everybody at the same time.
Make it second down and 14. Put the football just on the Miami side at the 47-yard line. Toretta with a deep drop, got some heat, gets it away downfield. Scott Fleck tries to intercept it, and Toretta is hammered. I mean, he is flattened by big Mike Wells.
Take a look at the protection. Watch from the left side. 64 is Wells. All Big Ten, second team last year. 12 sacks, almost had 12 sacks last year. Almost had his first one for 1992.
When a quarterback's shoulder blades hit the ground and he bounces, he has been deflated, hasn't he? But as we said, Toretta is a big, tough guy. He'll take a lot of punishment. So it's third down and 14. Steps away from the outside pressure and throws over the hands of number 3, Jonathan Harris, the sophomore from Houston, Texas. And the home folks like it. The Iowa defense holds them. That's the punt. Paul Snyder, as Harold Jasper goes deep. Paul Snyder is a senior from Laguna Niguel, California. It's a high hanger away, and Jasper comes way upfield to make the catch. There's a penalty flag thrown back around the 25. 23 yards on the punt. And it could be against Miami for some interference. You have to give the man the opportunity, and the people going down under the kick did not know where the ball was.
Interference with the opportunity. 5-yard penalty. It is a spot foul. Penalty is declined.
They want to go back to where the interference happened because they're better off taking the ball where it is. First down on their 30. Active evening in Iowa City last night on the walking street. The band was out having themselves a bit of a toot and having a very good time. It's been a most pleasant weekend at the home of the Hawkeyes, and the home crowd enjoying it right now. Their defense has held its first down Iowa, their own 30-yard line. Miami leads 3-0, and this play is going nowhere. Blue Montgomery is just smothered by the Miami defense, led by Rustin Medeiros. Medeiros coming out of Ozark, Missouri, finding his way to Miami. They didn't find his way; they came and got him. He's terrific. Greg Mark, who played that defensive end position, he's back as a graduate assistant coach on the Miami staff. He was also a great defensive player for the Canes.
Medeiros grew up on a ranch back in Missouri.
Hartley passes away down the middle. It's caught. That's good to Damon Hughes, and it's a first down for the Hawkeyes. And let's check in with John.
Penn State and Cincinnati. Richie Anderson takes the pitch here, then weaves his way towards the sideline and into the end zone, 11 yards. Penn State takes the lead, 14-7. Keith.
A lot of those guys that got pummeled last year showed up belligerent this year, haven't they?
Got long memories, don't they?
Yes, sir. Ball is at the 47, first down. This, number 33, 202-pound senior from East St. Louis. And right now, let's pause 5 seconds so our ABC stations can tell you who they are.
This is WFTV, Channel 9, Orlando.
Thank you. It is second down and 7. The ball at midfield. Miami leading Iowa 3-0. It's been a pretty good football game. Little nagging mistakes has stopped Miami's momentum. A couple of times they've been in position to put some points up. They haven't been able to do it. Hartley's pass. Thrown Scooter Atkin out of the backfield. And a sure-handed tackle by Terrence Harris, the junior from Memphis for the Canes. Make it 3rd and 4 now for the Hawkeyes. Antela comes off the field.
There's a receiver right here. He's going to break to the outside. The linebackers were blitzing. Hartlett saw it, rolled a little bit to his right, away from the blitzing linebacker, knew he couldn't block the guy to his left, and got the ball away in a nice open field tackle.
Now Scooter Lampkin moves up into a slot, becomes a wide receiver. There's 3 of them on the line for the Hawkeyes. Jasper looking in to see if he can recheck the snap count. Back goes Hartley. Needs to hurry, getting some heat. They're going the other way. The ball came out. Somebody slapped it loose. So what looked like an opportunity to run for a first down blows up in the arms of Hartley, and the Hurricanes come away with the football. Kevin Patrick covering it for the Canes. The ball rests at the Iowa 49.
Getting to know you.
I drove literally every car in the same class. It boiled down to I wanted a Geostorm.
How to drive a stick.
There's 140 horses in here. Can you... Hello? Horses?
The cockpit's laid out like a jet.
You don't have to be a race car driver to drive a Storm, but you sure feel like one.
Getting to know you.
If this car had wings, it would fly.
Now's the time to get to know Geostorm, right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Hi. You know why Quaker State asked me to be their spokesman? Because I'm tough. Quaker State is tough. Tough on wear and tough on sludge. If you use Quaker State in your new car's engine, they'll guarantee it for 250,000 miles or 10 years. In writing, Quaker State is one tough motor oil. So naturally, they asked me because I'm tough. You don't think it's because they think I'm oily.
Finn and Connie Studebaker look at things differently since they became parents. I'm Roger Cool. I'm their State Farm agent. Having a family brought a lot of changes in their lives, so we thought it was a good idea to sit down and have a family insurance checkup. We started by adding to their life insurance protection. Then we went over all their family insurance to help make sure their coverage was up to date. After all, you never know what could happen.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
One of the most recognizable features of the Iowa campus, the Hansher Auditorium. Seats 2,600 plus, over 1 million people attend performances in this famous building. Campus.
Take a look at this last play. He still has the ball, Hartlett. It appears right there. His old man knocks the ball out and knocks it back to 86 Patrick, who was on the ground.
And the Canes will take the look what I found fumble. Toretta comes up with 11 of 19 so far in the game, 129 yards, and goes underneath to Kevin Williams. Tries to get him one-on-one, does. And things happen when you get Williams one-on-one. Down to the 15 to 14-yard line. First down for the Canes. Of course, that late time to run him down.
This is why Williams is so dangerous and explosive. Top of your screen, just a little hitch, 5 yards. Now the action begins. See if you can tackle me. The fastest man on the team for the Hurricanes. 2 guys miss, 3 miss, 4, 5, 6. He's run 3 punts back for touchdowns last year. You just can't tackle him in the open field.
First down. Ball at the 15-yard line to let it turn. Good handing the ball to Donnell Bennett. And he'll make 4 yards. Miami's yardage, 5 yards on the ground, 164 through the air. Of course, that run by Williams, that goes to the distance.
Yeah, it's almost a long handoff.
That's right.
I mean, there were no backs in the backfield on that play, and they spread them from sideline to sideline. Just spread them out, and then we'll cut through you.
Second down, long time. Running back Bennett, trying to cut back to the left side. Found a little crack over there, and he couldn't get to it. Here's Jack.
Keith, you know, they called Gino Toretta Gino Marino, but that was last year. Now his teammates are calling him a new nickname that he got from his mother. It seems when he was a kid, he was the youngest of 3 brothers. Gary and Jeff are older than him, and he complained all the time. Like the brothers, Jeff and them said, why does Gino get all the preferential treatment? He says, well, because he's precious. Now the teammates call Toretta Precious.
Only when he's in a good mood. 3rd and 6. Williams. Touchdown. Kevin Williams is 5'9", 185 pounds, and I think that might be a little heavy. He is a junior. He is from Dallas, Texas, and he is a bundle of dynamite.
He is explosive. Doesn't have to be explosive here. The same play this side, same time. Just gets down 3 or 4 yards. Now you can't tackle him. Played again. Drives him into the end zone. 5-step, little hitch. Now Plate's got to make the tackle and keep him out of the end zone. And that was
Boudreau's a linebacker. He can't help either.
Kevin Williams drive there.
Yep. Kick is good. 10-0. Miami with 7:50 to go in the first half. Scoring drive for the Miami Hurricanes, and as Bob said, it was a Kevin Williams drive. He was clearing away the dominant personality.
And there you see him on the field again. He is on the kickoff team. Now, he is the safety. I said he is the fastest man on the Hurricane squad. He lays back, and if anybody breaks clear, it's his job to run him down.
Sit on the marshal. Dane and Hughes and Harold Jasper are your deep people for Iowa. Ellie Hughes. Dane and Hughes runs the football across the 35 and out to the 37 next Saturday. Regional college football action on ABC Sports. In the East, Syracuse hosts Texas. Down south, Tennessee goes to Athens against Georgia. Out west, Oregon plays Stanford. Midwest, Missouri tackles Illinois, or Bowling Green travels to Ohio State. Check local listing for the game on your ABC station. Call your local cable operator to find out which of these regional games will be available on live pay-per-view. Starts at 3:30 Eastern Time on ABC Sports. First down from the 36. Hartley underneath. Pass is caught for the tight end. Cross. And he's ruled out of bounds by Jesse Armstead. Jesse Armstead is another Texan on the Miami team.
All three of those linebackers, Keith, for the Hurricanes, run the 40-yard dash in under 4.6.
And 10-0 Miami leading in the ball game at 7.5 minutes.
That's pretty quick when your linebackers can run that fast. They can run down the wide receivers.
You know you've got a major league problem in front of you when their linebackers can outrun your backs. Terry carries. We zip off to New York and jump.
And we have a tremendous run here as you look at Auburn and Ole Miss. Cassius Ware, 91 yards by the time he finally rumbles into the end zone on the interception for the touchdown. As Ole Miss leads Auburn now 31-14.
Wow, it's been a while since that matchup has been that lopsided in favor of that team. Well, how do you do? Here comes Mr. Medeiros with his first big play of the night. Rusty Medeiros. He's 6'3", he's 255. Oh, I'd like to have him around. Things get
98. You see the tight end stands up. It's a blitz. 45 on the outside is a linebacker. The back didn't know who to block, whether to block Medeiros or the linebacker puts him to the outside. Medeiros got the sack.
Made the wrong choice, obviously, didn't he?
Take the inside of the two.
Kevin Williams fielded back at the 22. A little pause, little stutter step. Then he is knocked back to the 25-yard line by Bobby Bianco. 41-yard punt. Halftime Prudential halftime report. Scores and highlights with John Saunders, Michael Barrow. Special feature on him and Bo Schembechler's game announced. Ball is at the 27 of Miami. They own it. First down. 6:24 to go. First down. Novak's behind him as Beretta sets for the snap. That's 4 wideouts. He gets rid of it and a hurry. Goes to Harris. Jonathan Harris gets a block and gets a first down.
Jonathan Harris didn't like being tackled. Another one of the fast wide receivers for the University of Miami. Harris is only 5'9". That's James, number 5. James is not doing anything wrong. You catch the ball, you got to wait. You got to expect to be tackled, even if you are only 5'9".
That play is good for a first down. There was no penalty flag thrown. They got them apart in time, and the rest of the Miami people behaved themselves on the sideline. So it's at the 43. Larry Jones was the single back. Oh, Larry back on the wrong way. The ball is deflected, intended for Coleman Bell, and it is no good. Doug Laufenberg got a hand on it for Iowa. But the way Terrell was behaving, it looked like that Jones might have gone the other way.
He did go the wrong way. He was supposed to fake away and then come back to the tight end. Beretta's thrown 23 passes already, mainly in this game. We're about a quarter and a half into it, mainly because the running game is not working. They've had 8 runs and 23 passes.
Now they've got them spread out all over the field. Sideline to sideline. They'll give him too much room, but there's pretty good pursuit by the Hawkeyes. Number 97, Jason Dumont. He caught him from behind and held on. So it'll be third down and about 7.
Both coaches in this game tonight, ex-quarterbacks. Both coaches call a lot of the plays. Hayden Fry was a quarterback. In fact, he was back in Odessa. He was a state high school, all-state quarterback in high school. On third down,
The runner has time, lets it go, incomplete, intended for Horace Copeland. So the Kings get one first down in their stall, and now they'll have to punt it away. They lead 10-0. There goes Jesper. He's a wide out. Here's your punter, Snyder. He's had some pressure on every kick. Line up him up there, but this time there is no pressure, and he gets away a very high, good kick. 15-yard line, Jesper wonderful. Take it to the sideline. No room for it. It was a 39-yard punt, 2-yard return. Here's John.
Florida State coach Bobby Bowden said Charlie Ward was scary in practice. That's how good he was. Well, now he's scary for the rest of the ACC. 67 yards to Matt Fryer. They lead 38-14 in their ACC debut. Keith.
Hey, John. Bobby, the pitcher man. He's got another bunch down there that can run and tackle and block and throw. First down for Iowa from the 17. Hartley gets through. He will throw it. He is collared literally by Jesse Armstead and taken down with authority.
Armstead has the speed that we mentioned earlier, and he ran down the quarterback. The right side of your screen, the linebacker behind the line. Watch him as Hartley is going to run the play action fake. Now watch Armstead at the top middle. Now watch him running down.
Loss of 2 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 12. Back on the 15.
Legal tackle as long as you don't grab the face mask or the helmet.
They try to run the scooter left. Nothing to it. Darren Klein, 250-pounder, was waiting for him. Blue Jays had their troubles lately. Now they're trying to right things. Oakland, they haven't won since Canseco left town.
I don't think so. What does that tell you?
It is third down. And 11. Pressure coming, Armstead. Hartley, but he got the pass away. The pass completed to Ryan Perry, and he picks up a first down. Perry looks pretty good, doesn't he?
How about Hartley to get that ball off?
Some grit.
I mean, there was nobody blocking Armstead, and he just stood in there, waited for some clearance, and dropped the ball over. A big first down for the Hawkeyes. He backs up
there all by himself.
He sees him all the way.
He's 7 out of 8 in his passing, but he's only picked up 69 yards. Nothing big yet. On first down, out of the shotgun. Screen to the tight end. Cross. That's about a 7-yard pickup for Alan Cross, who's out of San Diego, California. And he was a walk-on.
Yes, he was. Big walk-on program here. Hayden Fry always welcomes walk-ons. 13 of them, as a matter of fact, on the ball club.
It'll be second down and 3 for the Hawks now. At the 39-yard line. Montgomery and Terry are your backs. Behind Hartley. The Miami defender down and turns it upfield and will come up just short of the first down. So that's how strong Hartley is. But he's going to miss his first down by 10. Monday night, Labor Day night, the season premiere of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, one of the old rivalries in the NFL. The Washington Redskins, the champions, be in Texas against the Dallas Cowboys. 9 Eastern time here on ABC Sports.
Well, they got everybody back, don't they?
Yeah, but, Rippon only had 2 games in the preseason and did not look sharp, and he won them.
Michael Irvin back with the Cowboys.
Checked in.
I think they're missing their center, though.
Well, Miami's claiming that somebody wearing a black shirt moved. So let's see about it.
The right tackle moved.
Offside is called against Miami.
It's surprising. Top of your screen, the tackle moves. The Hurricane also moved and moved a few of the offensive linemen, I think.
And the penalty goes against Miami. So it gives the Hawkeyes a first down. Hartley back pressure looping from the outside. Medeiros passes away and it is incomplete. Montgomery being covered by Michael Barrow.
Montgomery caught 35 passes last year. Barrow, the inside linebacker, was assigned to cover Montgomery. And Hartlett is really just running for his life, literally, on every pass play.
Yard line, second down and 10. Barrow has made 7 tackles so far in the ball season. Hartley's pass, good one to the midfield. Caught by the running back Terry. And Terry is thrown out around the 48-yard line. And one more time we go to New York Conduct.
Cincinnati's cry all season long will be, remember, 81-0 after a blocked punt. David Small hauls in this for a touchdown, his second of the game. Cincinnati's down by only 3 in the fourth quarter. Keith.
That's at Riverfront, right? They're looking for some redemption. Timeout on the field for the moment. Miami is taking a deep breath, and here's your provincial halftime report. It's going to feature Michael Barrow, his family, and what happened in the aftermath of Hurricane Andrew.
If you haven't been following and haven't heard, Michael Barrow grew up in Homestead, Florida. That is exactly where the Hurricane Andrew went through. It's quite a nice piece. We also go down to Jackaroo.
Well, Bob, you're absolutely right. In fact, he was the most valuable player for that team back in 1988, and he's wearing a very special jersey beneath his Miami jersey tonight. It's the Homestead, Florida football jersey, and he's wearing it to remind everybody that there is still so much to do down in southern Florida and in Louisiana. And he also wanted to let everybody know that football in high school is still going to get underway. You know a lot about that, Bob.
Well, I think they're going to miss their first 3 ball games, but it's interesting to note that one of the Hurricane players, Jay Ina, a freshman, went through the Hurricane in Miami, and Andrew went all the way up and went through Louisiana. Franklin, Louisiana, where his parents live, went through Franklin and also affected their home.
Hartley again goes underneath to his tight end, Alan Cross, and Cross may have a first down. Time remaining 1:03. Now he's going to be a yard short of his first down. Now we go inside a minute to go. And it's 4th down and a long yard. They'll go for it. Ball is at the 45 of Miami. Deep drop by Hartley. And pass by Hartley. He had a man wide open. Damon Hughes was lonely. There wasn't a Hurricane within 10 yards of it.
That was a very poor pass, and he knows it. Hayden Fry knows it. Take a look here. The receiver is going to go down and break into the middle. There is going to be nobody in the middle of the field. Drop back. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. Receiver is there, and he throws it behind him. That's like a turnover. It was 4th down. Now you have to give the ball over to the Hurricane in pretty good field position with 44 seconds remaining.
They've got 3. Timeout. Throw the football, and Copeland didn't catch it.
You're right, Keith. It is a long way to throw it, but what you're doing, you're throwing the ball all the way out there to the corner of the field where there's only Copeland and maybe 2 defensive backs that he has to beat. You're throwing it away from the defense. You get it out there where one of your guys can maybe break some tackles and make a long play out of it.
But from that near hash mark, to throw it that far, what, a good 30 yards.
It's a good 36 yards.
2nd and 10. Sideline, Williams falls down. Clock keeps going now. They have 3 timeouts, and they'll spend one right here. So they'll stop the clock at 29 seconds. They surely would like to get down, maybe give a chance to young Dane Pruitt to put something on the board. He's got one already. Talking with Dennis Erickson yesterday about the storm and the aftermath of the hurricane, and I asked him if he had ever in any time considered forfeiting this ball game, and this is his answer.
There were so many things involved that we felt that we had to play the game. And now that we've done that, it's been very good for the therapy of our football team. And I think it's been very good for South Florida. I know that there are a lot of people that don't have houses that are trying to find places where they can watch this game on TV. That's really amazing to me. But that's the kind of influence our football program has on the city.
Incidentally, Dennis's dad is an old friend of mine. Pinky has a new hip. He's probably hustling another four strokes a side.
Take a look at Dennis Erickson and where he's been. Idaho, Wyoming, he was there for only 1 year. In Miami, the outstanding record, 33-3, with 2 national championships over 3 years.
With 29 ticks remaining, 3rd down and 3 for the Canes. The ball is at the Iowa 48. Spread them out again. Probably deep here. Nope, underneath, get the first down, get out of bounds. Coleman Bell, tight end. Top the clock, 24 seconds.
Coming into the ball game, the offensive line for Miami was very young. They had lost 2 starters because of injuries. They have a freshman, a redshirt freshman, and 2 sophomores. Simonette there, number 66, is the redshirt freshman. This is his first game ever. and two sophomores on either side of him, but they're holding up well, mostly because he's throwing the ball pretty quickly. Gets it away to Harris. Harris is down inside the 15, stopped at the 11. That stops the clock as they move to change with 16 seconds remaining. Timeout, Miami. So they are now in field goal range for Dane Pruitt. They have one timeout remaining, and he's going to have to kick this one into a slight breeze if he gets kicked.
Wednesday. I've got 500 watts running through this bad boy.
Is it safe for us to be sitting here?
Prepare yourself for a lovely Sunday afternoon at the Metropolitan Opera.
Oh, that's wonderful, Tim. Turn it down.
Stop.
Home Improvement. Now on Wednesday, followed by Roseanne on a special night.
The defending Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins face their arch rival, the Dallas Cowboys. It's the season premiere of ABC's Monday Night Football this week.
If you're under the impression that Gino Torretta's having a big first half, you're correct. 17 of 28, 236 yards. But then he is the offense.
Well, he is the man. He is the catalyst. He is the instigator. He gets it to these. Well, he gets it to the little guys that can run. Harris, most recently. Kevin Williams before. Those guys, both 5'9". Then he throws it to Copeland, who's 6'3". Just quick little passes. Not asking his offensive line to do a lot. In fact, that time he had to move around a little bit to get rid of the football.
It is first down at the 11-yard line of Iowa. Lamar Thomas checks in. Daniel Bennett is the single back. 16 seconds to go in the first half. One timeout remaining. Hard pass. Bounces off the chest. Copeland was well defended by Doug Book.
Book doing a nice job. In fact, last week picked off a pass against NC State. Was the second leading tackler in that ball game and was up covering because the linebackers were blitzing. Torretta saw it, hit the man on a slant, and Book was right there to hit the slant receiver.
12 seconds to go. Second down and 10. Adams spread out, sideline to sideline again. Torretta with time, throws it incomplete. That is deflected by Mike Bailey, a linebacker. Now it is third down and 10 from the 11, and 8 seconds to play. You got time for one more play, and then a kick. But with only 8 seconds remaining, Bob, you put it in the end zone.
You better throw it in the end zone because you can't rely on a pass play taking less than 8 seconds and then calling a timeout. Gino does not roll out that often. He likes to stay in the pocket.
Crowd trying to help their team. No, that may be the first catch the runner's thrown all night. It was intended for Kevin Williams. That's going to get Dane Pruitt into the ball game. Earlier he kicked the 27-yard field goal. Now he's going to saddle up and try one from 28 yards. And it's going to come with 3 seconds to play in the first half. Ball snap is pulled. The hold. Low snap. Gets it away. Missed it. That was a little low, and I'm not sure that Snyder got it down all the way, and the kick misses. So the half is over. It's 10-0 Miami. It is still a contest. We'll be back with halftime activities after this message and the word from our ABC station. Ready to go now with the second half of play as the two teams have come up onto the field. Looking at how they got to their 10-0 score. Dane Pruitt kicked a 27-yard field goal for a 3-0 lead. Then this pass run play after a Jim Hartley fumble. And Kevin Williams took off on the big run. 35 yards. It was a drive engineered almost totally by Kevin Williams. After that play, he put it in the end zone from 11 yards out. Again, taking a short pass from Gino Torretta. And that's where we are in this ball game. 10-0 Miami. The numbers look this way with Bob.
Here's a look at the halftime stats. Take a look at Miami passing. 236, only 8 yards rushing. The other thing down here, 2 turnovers. One of those led to a touchdown. Iowa not getting a lot done offensively, but they're going up against Miami, who last year, defensively, was the #1 unit in allowing the fewest points.
Now here's Jack Root.
Well, Keith, you saw the great feature about Michael and May Barrow's mother. I just talked to her at halftime. She's been watching the game where she's staying now in Michael's apartment just beyond the Miami arena. The one thing she wanted to tell people is she's been hooting and hollering with her family, but she wants everybody to keep the faith because that's what they're doing in South Florida.
Iowa will kick off. Miami had won the toss, chose to defer. It's a low bouncing kick, and it is steeled back at the 10-yard line by Jonathan Harris. And Harris doesn't get a whole lot of return out of it as he is rolled out of bounds at the 20. Here are the offensive leaders for Miami during the first half of play. And Toretta, you see, having a big first half.
17 of 31, one touchdown. Toretta leads them in rushing with 5 yards and receiving. Williams and Copeland, the two wide receivers, with 5. Williams with the 1 touchdown. Iowa defensively, both men you see there, Plate and James, are defensive backs in both corners. So a lot of tackles downfield because they're throwing the ball to the wide receivers.
Larry Jones starts out as the single back, and he has the ball. Got a terrific block from Coleman Bell to turn him around the corner. He's going to pick up 4 yards. Looks like they're marking out short of the 25.
Here's a look at Miami possession. Now look at this. The 2 times they got the ball inside the 50-yard line in Iowa, they produced a touchdown and a field goal. So possession for Miami inside. They've done some good things with it.
Second down and 6 from the 24. Only one starter healthy enough to be out on the field in the offensive front for Miami. That's Rudy Barber, the left guard. This is Jones again. And Larry Jones, the big guy, 235-pound, a sophomore from Gainesville, believe it or not, has picked up a first down for Miami.
Wonder what Miami talked about at halftime. The first 2 plays, they come out and running the ball straight ahead. I think they knew what those numbers were. Only 8 rushing yards in the first half. Miami really runs the ball very well from that 3 wide receiver, 1 back set.
Ball is at the 32 now. Jones has had a hand in everything so far here in the second half of the play. Not much on that. It'll be second down and 6. Pause 5 seconds here so our ABC stations can identify themselves. From the 36. Very conservative start by the Miami Hurricanes. Now you got 3 wide outs at the top of the picture. Toretta rolls, buys some time, lets it go down the middle. He's got the man there. To the tight end, Coleman Bell. The ball came loose, and Iowa seems to have it. Coleman Bell lost the ball, no question about it. Olczak was there, and the Hawkeyes have come away with it. Scott Plate is the man covering it.
Side of your screen, number 17 is the tight end. He's going to be open over the middle. Play action fake, top of your screen. Wide open is Bell. Now let's see what the action. We'll get to it in a minute. Machine broke. We'll get back to it in a second.
First down at the 50 for the Hawkeyes. Pressure coming from the outside. The pass is thrown underneath, intended for the tight end, Alan Cross. And Hartley didn't get it to it.
It was well covered. This is the best field position that Hartley and the Hawkeyes have had the entire ball game. First turnover for Miami. But he was well covered, and Hartley did a smart thing in throwing it out front away from the defensive back.
Second down and 10. 2 tight ends in now as Whitaker comes in, joining Cross. Montgomery. Not much. A couple of yards, that's all. So they're looking at third down and 8. In comes Scooter Lennon. Matt Ives standing there by Hayden, the backup quarterback. Checking off. Play. Here they come. Gets it away, and it is incomplete. He waited as long as he could, and he finally had to let it go, and Darren Crine was all over it, and it's incomplete. So in the punt is Scott Fisher. Back goes Jonathan Harris as the deep man. So Kevin Williams gets a little bit of a reprieve here. That's a low line drive kick. Bounces a little bit. Jonathan Harris wants nothing to do with it. He is not going to expose his 165-pound frame to that much abuse. 42-yard punt. All right, we're ready to go with Miami possessing the ball just beyond their own 6-yard line after that punt was killed. 13:06 to go in the third quarter, and the Hurricanes are leading 10-0. Put it in the air. He drilled it, and bounced it, I think, in front of AC Tellison. Mark Brooks at 15 under par leads the Greater Milwaukee Open, and we'll have final round coverage for you here on ABC Sports, 4 Eastern Time, 3 Central. Richard Zockel, 14 under, and Jay Haas at 12. So the Canadian is right there, making a challenge. Story behind this truck last year, for a reason, for medical reason. Eyes were burned in a blizzard years ago back around Las Cruces, New Mexico. He was out on a recruiting trip. He had to drive his head out the window of the snowstorm. Boy, that thing is a bullet, isn't it? He can really throw that ball just short of the 20-yard line, and it's a first down, and he gets a little real estate on which to romp now. Horace Copeland, man who caught it.
Copeland, man on man outside with James. This goes down, hooks to the inside, and the ball is there.
Copeland's size, he doesn't look that big until you get up close to him, and he's a big man.
He can run.
6 balls now for Copeland, 78 yards. Coretta throws quickly under pressure, and penalty flags come a little late. But they're going to flag the defender, Olenzak, as he tried to cover Coleman Bell, the tight end. South Carolina's given Georgia plenty of fight in their opener with South Carolina, another one of the new members of the Southeastern Conference. Got a mixed crew. Always takes a little longer when you have a mixed crew of officials. I thought they were going to generally get away from that.
They are.
Pass interference is called. That was the obvious call. Pass interference in college football is a 15-yard penalty.
And a first down from the original spot of the play.
So the ball is marked at the 25-yard line where the Hurricanes will have it at 12:35 to go in the third quarter. They lead it by a score of 10-0. Things have been very quiet here in the third quarter so far. Iowa's second game of the season, 9 dispersed. Here comes Kevin Williams as they started to loosen it up a little bit as he came with the reverse from the sidelines. And here's John.
Georgia and South Carolina, fourth quarter, 7-6 game, and watch Max Strong. He finds the hole and then breaks it. The question is, does he get to the end zone before he's down? It looks like he may be down before crossing the line. They give him the TD anyway. 14-6 in the third quarter. Keith.
Well, he burned enough hide off. They ought to let him have it anyhow, and they did. Georgia, a lot of people couldn't hide him in the SEC this year, especially because of their fire. Jonathan Harris on that play. Harris becoming quite prominent, isn't he? He's out of Houston, Texas.
Take a look at the protection for Torretta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quick steps. There you see Harris wide open. Strong safety Olenzak had to come a long way to cover him. Iowa shutting down the Miami run, but cannot stop the pass.
Chris Jones, who is a 6'3" wideout, has come to the near sideline now for Miami. They run it instead with Larry Jones and a penalty flag as they tumble off the field to play. Clock is continuing to run. I thought he went out of bounds. Now they stop the clock at 11:09. That's a hold and against the Canes.
Talking about Hayden Fry and all of his walk-ons. Look at this man right here, Brent Bielema right here. Came to the university 5 years ago, walked on, built himself up, hung around, did all the things you're supposed to do, was there for every practice, every workout, up early, worked himself into a starting position, and is the co-captain of this ball club. From a walk-on to a co-captain says a lot about that young man right there.
Well, one of the things that you have to take into consideration when you're talking about Iowa football, too, is that the population of the entire state is 2,776,755. And there's some counties in California and Florida that more people than that. That ball was thrown behind the intended receiver, Copeland. But this Miami team, Bob, looking at the book, they've got 22 members of this team from Dade County. Right. Well, they've stayed at home. They kept the good ones at home.
And 55 from the state of Florida. What did Hayden say? He only recruited 2 players this year from the state of Iowa.
That population gives you the reason.
He said he wanted to go out and get faster, quicker players. He wants more emphasis on speed.
They do have 8 from New Jersey, however. This goes back to my old line. If you can keep 15 to the top 100 in New Jersey, you'd be a contender. This is Lamar Thomas, who suffered a sprained knee early on, but he's been back in the ballgame since. And he makes that catch up at the 40-yard line. And that's enough yards for a first down. No, it is not. I'm sorry, it is not a first down. You got to go far beyond that, up to the 47. The man down on the field looks like it might be Thomas Knight, number 8. It is Thomas Knight, shaken up as he made the tackle on Lamar Thomas. And while we're waiting, a reminder that the American Red Cross relief number that we showed at halftime to aid those in Louisiana and Florida is 1-800-842-2200. Miami's next game will be the 19th of September, Florida A&M. They're playing it in Miami, and that, of course, will be a huge benefit for the relief fund. And here today, American Red Cross volunteers were collecting donations at all the gates coming into Kinnick Stadium. Of course, named here for Niall Kinnick, who was the great player for the University of Iowa and lost his life during the days of the Second World War. 10:49 to go in the third quarter.
She doesn't want to go back to work for a while, but she likes staying home with the baby.
How's the baby now?
She's 2 months old tomorrow. I swear she's a genius.
No catchy jingles. No images of snow-capped mountains.
Good luck, Egg.
No rock stars.
One other Heineken.
No sports stars.
No, I've been getting that.
None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
So you like me to death?
I wouldn't trade it for anything. You gotta try it.
Sounds just like my in-laws.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard, American or import, is an extra lease on life.
It's the weekend, and the Honda automobile plant in Marysville, Ohio is closed. Everybody's gone home. Well, almost everybody. So this is a good time to show you around. 10,000 Americans build 3 out of every 5 Hondas sold in America right here in Ohio. Did you know that? Well, we won't take up any more of your time. After all, it is the weekend.
Bob, it's been relatively conservative here in the third quarter. We used up just about 5 minutes. We had this dramatic a change in what's...
Well, I think Miami came out trying to run the ball, and they found out they couldn't, so they're trying to throw quick passes. I was playing loose, not wanting to give them anything big, and it's working pretty well for them. I was only giving up 10 points, and they're in the ball game.
Loretta will run it up the middle. Everybody peeled off and just gave him a highway, and the big guy from California took off and gets the first down at midfield. Tom Knight was down for a good long time, but he walked off the field, and now he's sitting up talking to the trainer. So.
And he's new to these parts, Keith. He's a true freshman, just been on campus for about a month. He may not know his way around yet. He may not know where the library is.
Back goes to Levin. Some heat coming to guys. Back at the 40. Jason Juma. That was a sack with authority.
I told you early on that Miami's weakness offensively, offensive line. Dumont 97 does a little twist, comes right up the middle. Turn out the lights.
Cristobal, Shirey, Serta, all offensive linemen down. Second down and 20. Down to the 40. A little draw up the middle with Jones. Bennett, rather. Donnell Bennett, number 33. And the sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale will get it up around the 45.
One of the reasons why the Hurricanes' running game is not working, Stephen McGuire, their leading rusher from last year, is out.
Jonathan Harris is hurt. So they're having to look at Harris, who has been a very prominent figure for the Hurricanes tonight. And they're looking at knee or maybe ankle on Harris. A timeout for the injury. Here's John Saunders.
Southwestern Louisiana facing Tennessee, and Phil Fulmer, of course, head coach for Johnny Majors, who had recent surgery in his heart. Jerry Colquitt with a swing to Aaron Hayden, 44 yards for the touchdown, 458 total yards for Tennessee as they roll over Southwest Louisiana. Back to Keith.
John, thank you. And my old friend Johnny Majors has gone home after major heart surgery. Coach, I hope you're feeling good. And you know full well that all of us here at ABC Sports wish you the very best. And Jonathan Harris now starting to walk a little better as he gets to the sidelines. Has good numbers for the night.
I think he had a cramp, Keith, from the way they were treating him.
Yep. Well, it's a muggy night. And easy to get cramps this time of the season. Crowd trying to help their defense now. On third down and 15. Terrell lets it go too high. Intended for Lamar Thomas. Thomas is slapping his hands together as if maybe he didn't run quite where Gino thought he was going to. No, the Canes will put it. The fifth one of the night for Paul Snyder.
Iowa again blitzing on that situation as you see Jasper going back to receive the punt.
All guys have played a pretty steady ball game. It's only 10 minutes. Oh, good pressure. No flag as the punter tumbles down. Here comes number 83, Harold Jasper, and banged down at the 9. That was a good punt. 47 yards. Looks like the boys are talking a little trash down there now, and I don't think Jim Kimberling's going to let that go on very long. He'll have somebody sitting on the pine.
This was first half, Keith. Hartley was 10 of 13. Leading rusher was Terry and Montgomery, the two backs. Not a lot there offensively. Defensively for Miami, Barrow and Smith, the two linebackers, led the way in tackles. There's a look at Iowa. Not much. They started in their own territory, punted 4 times, fumbled twice, and gave it up on downs once.
They start this possession from the 10. Out of the shotgun, Hartley takes off. Got a couple of good blocks. And he runs it out to about the 18-yard line. Jesse Armstead sought him out and put him down.
Quarterback draw. Hayden Fry said that Hartley is the best running quarterback he has had. Interesting that Hayden's had a bunch of pretty good quarterbacks. In fact, 7 of the last 9, all Big Ten quarterbacks were caught under that man right there. He does a great job tutoring quarterbacks.
Second down and 2. He's that ball to Lepkin, and Marvin Lepkin will pick up the first down for the Hawkeyes at the 21-yard line. Jasper, a wide receiver, comes in, and Montgomery, a fullback, goes out. Kuyama is also in. There were 3 occasions, and one in particular when he was wide open, but they couldn't get the ball to him. He had a relatively quiet night.
You talk about speed and quickness and the difference in these two teams. Miami has the speed. Iowa does not have the team speed. But that man right there, Danon Hughes, does possess it. Caught 2 touchdown passes last week in their game against NC State. They need to get him the ball more because he can make some things happen.
2 for 24 so far tonight. No, thank you. Scooter Lampkin taken down by Michael Barrow. Barrow is a senior. He's 230 pounds. You know the story about him and his family. But Michael is he's a top customer in the middle of that linebacking corps. He had an absolutely sensational ball game in that fight with Florida State last year.
Yes, he did. You know, Miami's linebackers, including Barrow, are so quick that on third down, they don't even take him out for a nickel situation. They leave him in. They can run.
Third down and 5.
That was last year, and this year, they're only 1 of 8. Iowa is.
Pumped by Hartley. Little go down the sideline to the side end. Allen crosses the ball too high, and that'll bring in the punter. Got a little moaning and groaning out of the home folks on that series, didn't we? That's a little better kick. Kevin Williams is in there this time. He won't get to it. The ball kicks straight out of bounds. And it's 6:02 to go in the third quarter. 10-0 Miami. And they'll have the ball from Big Ten. Little story here about Hayden Fry. In the 25 seasons before he came, 5 coaches could win only 99 games. So he has definitely had his impact.
He is the dean of Big Ten coaches. Was the Big Ten coach of the year the last 2 years. And the third winningest active coach in college football.
First down for the Canes. At their own 40-yard line, they lead 10-0. Toretta dumps it off to Coleman Bell. And Bell runs away from patrol and takes the ball all the way down to the 40-yard line of Iowa. Coleman Bell playing tight end at 6'2", 225 pounds, a senior from Temple.
Play action is going to come this way. That'll pull the linebacker. And Bell is right here. He'll just slide out. The pass will be to him. Play action pulls the linebacker. Bell slips out. Toretta gets him the ball, and he beats the linebacker. And does a pretty good job getting downfield. Broke the tackle into the defensive back.
Jonathan Harris is back in the lineup. He's all right. Into the arms of Chris Jones, that big wideout. Now it's 24-41 for Gino Toretta, and he's right at 319 yards. So he's having a big night. And those numbers are being accumulated out of necessity, because it takes you a while to get an offensive line trained, and it's green going out there for Miami. Carter said earlier, easier to pass block than to run block.
And he's throwing quick, too. He has to throw quick. He's getting pressure if he goes back 7 steps.
Second down and 1. Hands it away to Donnell Bennett. And Bennett will tumble down to the 22 and a first down. Stephen McGuire is not playing tonight. He's still trying to get over knee surgery. The running backs are Bennett and Jones at 225 and 235. And when they get McGuire back, I mean, he brings wisdom, plus a tremendous amount of ability. So if this team ever gets everybody healthy,
Everybody worries about their offense because of the spread and the big play capabilities, but it's their defense that dominates. You talk to coaches and they'll say that defense is tough to score on.
Loretta's pass on the money to Kevin Williams, and Williams is out of bounds at about the 10 beyond the first down marker, and it'll be first down as Bo Porter brought him down. Bo's one of the young men out here in Iowa. He was from Newark, New Jersey.
Toretta is from California out there where you are, Keith. He grew up
north of San Francisco.
Yeah, he grew up surfing and skateboarding, and he gave up the skateboarding, though, after he broke both arms in separate accidents.
Syracuse rolling along against East Carolina. That's a pretty good football team. And when they play in the zone, they are very good football. To the end zone, intercepted. Bo Porter picked it off. Loretta tried to force it. Porter picked it off.
Well, here's Porter right here. Take a look. The man is the receiver's going to run into the end zone, and as Toretta goes this way and throws back, the defensive back is going to cut in front of him. Good coverage and a poor throw, a poor choice. You just can't swing out there and decide you're going to throw it like it's open every day in practice. You have to wait, be patient, and be honest. And that time, Porter made the big play.
It was intended for Jonathan Harris. Time in this half. They fumbled. They punted, and now been intercepted in their 3 possessions. They do lead, however, 10-0.
What Iowa needs, Keith, is a big play. They need something to get some life back and confidence back in this ball team.
Ryan Terry, a running back in a wide-out position. The ball is handed to Montgomery. And perhaps they need to get a little more determined about running the ball as we check in with John.
Syracuse lost to East Carolina last year. Not this time. Marvin Graves dumps it off to Shelby Hill. He goes in for the touchdown. The teams combined for around 1,200 yards total offense. Of course, you can see Texas against Syracuse next week. You're on ABC. Back to Keith.
Bring your earmuffs up.
In the dome.
Ryan Terry. 20 minutes to go. The swarm, and just
that looked like a face mask in there.
No flag. Jim Hartley, University of Iowa quarterback, has been awarded the Honda Scholar Athlete Award of the Week by American Honda, proud to support amateur athletics. Hartley is a 5th-year senior quarterback here at the University of Iowa. He's actually in graduate school, having graduated in finance. So he's a good start to the ball and a very pleasant. Honda recognizes that and has rewarded him under the penalty flag on the field as Hartley is running, trying to pick up a first down. He's got the yardage for the first down, but let's see what it is. Apparently against Miami, at least the Hawkeyes are pointing that way. 2:44 to go in the third quarter. Hold defense. So that's first down for the Hawkeyes. Moves them on down the road 10 yards. Penalties now. Miami has been flagged 9 times for 67 yards. Iowa twice for 11 yards. You see those initials on the shirt of Jim Kimmerling, the referee? Those are to honor the memory of everybody's friend in college football, Davey Nelson, who was the executive director of the Rules Committee, longtime coach at Delaware, played for Fritz Chrysler in Michigan. A wonderful man. Tried to touch that ball outside to number 23, Tuyama, but he took a lick and a half from Darren Smith, and the pass is incomplete.
It's a little screen, and Darren Smith, the All-American linebacker for the Hurricanes, number 45, reads it all the way, and if he hadn't have been there, Barrow would have. Hurricanes have a number of outstanding players, a lot on defense that are up for awards. Smith and Barrow both up for the Butkus Award, the outstanding linebacker.
Second down and 10. They're asking Kevin Patrick, the man who came flying across Dallas, and they're asking for movement along the Iowa front. So they will talk about it, and we'll listen to Jack.
Well, Keith, the offensive line for the Iowa Hawkeyes have had a tough 7 months. You see, back in February, all the coaches got together and went on a Caribbean cruise. One didn't come back. He suffered a fatal heart attack. John O'Hara, what they've decided to do now is the entire team is wearing a small black patch with JBO in tribute to their former offensive line coach.
The penalty against the Canes will move the ball across the 45 to about the 46. It'll be second down and 5.
Hayden Fry not only lost Hughes, but he also lost to Carl Jackson, his offensive coordinator, who moved on to coach with the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, shovels to Montgomery. Penalty flag goes down, and Montgomery breaks the tackle and goes for what could be a first down. He got away from Michael Barrow. And that in itself is news.
Barrow eyeballing the back. He reads his play. That's his gap. He's got to fill the gap. He's there, but Montgomery, who's 6 foot and 212 pounds, spins out of it. But it'll come back. It's a holding against Iowa.
So at 2:19 to go in the third quarter. The Hawkeyes are, for the moment, stalled because of a penalty flag. An infraction by them. Or, if you like, in simpler terms, a foul by Iowa. That'll make it second down and 16, and Kuyala gets in. 3 wideouts. Hartley in a hurry, gets rid of it to Terry. And Lion Curry can't go anywhere. Got the ball all right. The gain is quite short. Tackled by Paul White, first man to get there, a junior from Tampa.
Mentioned that Hayden Fry was a former quarterback. He called a lot of the plays. You asked him the other day what his offensive philosophy was. He said it's not any different than anybody else's. I just take what they give me. He said, I call it a little bit different. He says, I call it you scratch where it itches. Well, he's not finding many places to scratch here tonight because they're not giving him much to work on.
Ain't no itch. More like pain. Like that. He got it away, though. Perry picked it up right off the grass and made something out of it. And poor Jim Hartley is back there on the ground, and he's finally up now, counting his limbs. Well, it took a pretty play.
Well, it's a play-action fake, and he just doesn't step up in time. He's pressured from the outside and just barely gets the ball off to Terry. Great play by Hartley.
Wayne Johnson was the defender for Miami, creating all of that. And here's Clark. And a fair catch is called inside the 20 by Kevin Williams. Let's see about the flag, and it's thrown down around the 20-yard line. So Tuesday night, the new season's hit is back. Spend an hour in Gentique, where medical school is definitely stranger than paradise. Emmy-winning producers of Northern Exposure bringing you Going to Extremes, Tuesday at 10, 9 Central, after Coach, here on ABC. Flag thrown against the Canes. Heated discussion on the sideline, and Kimmerling has gone over there. Jim now has come back to talk with the people out on the field. But it's a personal foul against Miami. Now they'll mark it off.
Looks like it may be against somebody on the sideline. It looks like it may be the strength coach.
Well, they're certainly talking to him.
Maybe he's just helping to get everybody back.
I think he's moving everybody off the sideline, but you've got to stay out of that chalk area. The foul occurred on the field, and Larry Jones is now the running back, the single back, as the crowd once again tries to help the home team's defense. Jones jumped over the top of a man along the line of scrimmage and pounds his way out across the 15. Pretty good pickup.
It's a smart play, too, by Toretto. If you're backed up and you're on the road and the crowd is giving you a tough time, if you could just get one play off, then the crowd the next play will not be as loud. They'll say, well, it doesn't bother me that much. We won't do it as loud.
We're going to try one more time. Second down and 13. Ball at the Miami 15. Toretto lets it go, and it is incomplete. Only incomplete, 5 seconds here. And the time is ticked off to end the third quarter, and we'll be back with more between Miami and Iowa after this message and the word from our ABC station. With Dave Maggart, athletic director, University of Miami, who came in last night with Lamar Thomas. who just cleared some legal obstacles to make himself eligible. Dave explained it to us how it was that he made himself eligible through appeal.
Well, I'll explain it briefly, Chief. Yesterday afternoon, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Miami made Lamar Thomas and Jason Marucci eligible for the pretrial intervention program regarding the Pell Grant. So it was a legal kind of a thing, but we had indicated that Lamar cannot practice or participate until this was done, and it was accomplished yesterday afternoon.
On 3rd down and 13 to start the 4th quarter, Toretta scrambling, trying to get his first down. It does not appear that he was able to do that, so it'll be 4th and very short yardage. It's kind of a hard ball game here.
Oh, it's a tough ball game, Keith. I think with everything that's happened over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we look a little bit out of sync, and yet Iowa's playing very, very well. So I think with all of the things, all of the distractions that we've had, we obviously want to get out of here with a win. But Iowa is playing well.
Nobody in the world would have, he may have picked up that first down. Look at that.
I think he did.
Yeah, he did. Well, Kimmerling's a little bit indecisive about it. Put it down again, guys. Let me see. And he did. But was there ever any thought about forfeiting this ball game? Nobody could have blamed you if you wanted to.
Well, I think when the hurricane took place, we thought about the possibility of postponing it. Some people talked about canceling it, but really after we got ourselves together a little bit, we felt that maybe we could be much more positive for us in Miami, or calling attention to the problems in South Florida by playing and the visibility of our team. So we felt that maybe it would help the relief fund actually, or the relief efforts really in South Florida. And once we had 3 or 4 days to think about it and get our team back together and off campus, because we really couldn't function on campus, we decided to come up and play the game.
Now, you don't play again until the 19th of September when you play Florida A&M, I guess down in the Orange Bowl. I would presume that would be a major relief effort.
Well, we will try to use every opportunity that we can to focus on the relief efforts in South Florida and to help many of the people who are really suffering because of this hurricane, Keith. You just don't know until you see it. But we're going to try to be as positive and as proactive as we can possibly be to try to help in this effort all we can.
Well, this is the telephone number that is being used to try to stimulate more and more relief help. Here's Coleman Bell breaking loose on a pass completion and turning in a huge play as he goes down to about the 16-yard line. Again, I say to you, Coleman Bell is the fellow who made that great catch in the Florida State game a year ago. So he has become a money player. But here's your the telephone number is 1-800-842-2200. So keep that in mind as time goes on, and those who can help, please do. But here's a replay on Bell's big play, and it looks like now Miami, with that play, is going to be in position to add to their point total. And we had said earlier, David, when you leave here and start your flight back to Florida, you're going home to shake hands with true reality.
Absolutely, and there's still a lot of devastation around there. We simply couldn't have been on campus the last couple of weeks, but we're going back to campus on tomorrow afternoon. And in many ways, I think it will be good for our players to get back on campus because we can now handle it in terms of housing and so on. But it will be reality, no question about it.
And classes are still scheduled to start 14th.
Classes begin the 14th, orientation the 10th.
Well, we met you in California, shot putter. David, a former Olympian, great athlete himself, and moved from California, University of, down to Miami, and we wish you good luck.
Well, thank you, Keith. It's always a pleasure to visit with you, too. See you. Thank you.
Dave Maggart, the athletic director, University of Miami. Now the Canes are in position to make a serious scoring threat. Toretta, pump, throw, pops, shoots away to the goal line and just short. These wide people for Miami, Bob, seem so confident. It's incredible.
Well, you see the strength right here. The strength of this offense is the wide receiver. And it's quick passing, Keith. It's 3 steps. Just throw the ball out to them when they go down 5 yards and hitch and let them run. And they're great athletes. Thomas and Williams and Copeland, all 3 of them just get them the ball and they run with it. The offensive line is immature right now and needs some seasoning.
Toretta has now reached 400 total yards in his passing for the night. Larry Jones got a hold down to the goal line, a yard short. It'll be second down and goal from about the 1. Toretta 28 out of 48 for his 400 yards.
And he's had to do that because the running game is just not working. Again, the leading runner from last year, as you see, 400 for Toretta. McGuire is out, and the offensive line is very green.
Jones touchdown. So again, it is a pass reception and a big run that is the big play as the Miami Hurricanes build their lead to 16-0. And I'm going to be believing now, as we reach this point of the ball game, Bob, that the Iowa defensive people might be getting a little tired. You get tired pursuing. The kick by Pruitt is good. It is 17-0 Miami. The preseason #1 in most everybody's poll, with 12 minutes and 34 seconds to play in their opening game of the season. going to stuck it in the end zone for the second time tonight. Now Iowa must respond because time becomes precious. At 12 and a half minutes to go in the ball game. And here comes Nathan Hughes. And he saves a little time as he tumbles out of bounds, and we go off to New York, Kentucky.
The last year's co-national champion Washington at Arizona State. Opening drive, 8 plays, 65 yards. Jay Berry knocks it in from 8 yards out. They lead 7-0. Keith.
And I'm wondering if that redshirt freshman quarterback, who effectively would be the third or maybe even the fourth quarterback on that entire squad, with Powers leading and McGee being suspended and all that kind of stuff, and now they got to go with a redshirt freshman.
The Hawkeyes haven't been too successful in fourth quarters. Going against the #1 scoring defense in the nation last year.
That's a good pass, and it's a good catch by Damon Hughes. He just went up and caught that ball right in front of Paul White and turns it a big play, and it's first down for Iowa near the 49-yard line.
After 3 quarters, Miami led 10-0. They scored first in the fourth quarter. But look at the passing yards. 330 to Miami, rushing only 43. Iowa only getting total yards 162. And time of possession on Iowa's side. That's not unusual for Miami because when they move offensively, they usually either score or give it up rather quickly.
Shotgun, pressure coming. Medeiros after him, passes away. Got a man wide open. Damon Hughes, he was shut out almost. I think he caught one short ball in the second half against North Carolina State last week. But somehow now they're finding a way to get the ball to him. He's a player.
He's a player. He's also a baseball player. He was drafted in the 3rd round last year by the Milwaukee Brewers. Spent the summer in Helena, playing in the Pioneer League, and roomed with Kenny Felder, the old quarterback from Florida State, who was their #1 draft choice.
Hit 317.
Threw football around a little bit.
On first down, Lampkin for a yard. Jack.
Keith, you never know what you're going to find in the stands in an Iowa game. I've run into Tom Arnold, who along with Roseanne are the stars of that hit show, Roseanne.
Yeah.
How many games do you get to, Tom?
4 or 5, and then the bowl game. You know, we have a farm here, you know,
Yeah.
so we hang out in Iowa a lot.
Kind of like Iowa, don't you?
Yeah, I went to school here. I love it here. It's great.
Not the way you'd like it to turn out, though.
No, but it's not over yet.
What can we expect with the hit show this year? Any changes?
Well, it's going to be more the same, and, you know, a big surprise on the first episode on September 15th.
We can watch it on ABC, and he's down here in the cheap seats, Keith.
He's where?
I said he's down here in the end zone in what we call the cheap seats.
I guarantee you one thing, there weren't a whole lot of tickets floating around for sale. You take what you get. You probably got here late. Hawkeyes trying to move that ball downfield. Now they're looking at 3rd down 11 on their own 36-yard line, and the time remaining is 11:10 with Miami leading 17-0. It was Damon Hughes involved in the previous big play, and we lost some lights. The one bank of the lights, I think, is going out. We're going to stop it for a minute. So there's one of the lights. The lights are being done, incidentally, by Musco. These are the people who have come up with a system, and it's an incredible system of lighting stadiums around the country. And another one just popped out. But it's an Iowa company, which I really never knew until a couple of days ago. They're based in Oskaloosa. So you've got a delay now for the moment until we can get some new lanterns up. So while we're waiting for more light, we'll pay some bills. Last decade. That is a lot, folks. Lights are back. The lamp is lit. And so once more, 3rd down 11 for the Hawkeyes from the Miami 36-yard line. They trail 17-0. You got 10:50 to play in the ball game. If there is to be hope, something needs to happen right about here. Under the pressure. Soft little pass away. Number 43 came flying in, Riley, and he just nailed the quarterback. So it is 4th down, and the Hawkeyes have to go. 4th down and 9. Ball is on the 34-yard line. From the shotgun. Down the middle, no. I think the pass was intended for Peyton Hughes. Darren Klein was all over Jim Hartley, and the pass flew away. And here is John Saunders.
Mississippi State and Texas. Peter Gardner for Texas is picked off by Keith Joseph. He sets up yet another touchdown as Mississippi State wins. Jackie Sherrill 7 straight against Texas, both at A&M and Mississippi State. 28-10 is the final. That's Keith.
John Mackovic, new coach down at Texas, got some rebuilding to do.
Well, he's changing the system, too.
Totally.
Changing the style.
Jackie Sherrill's got a good football team here in Starkville, Mississippi. Beware those who travel through Starkville this season. Carrying the ball is Larry Jones, and he's spinning and fighting and struggling, and he doesn't get a whole lot out of it. As Miami taking over the ball on 4th down situation, leading by a score of 17-0. You know that Alabama and Florida both have to go into Starkville this year to play Mississippi State. So they're going to be a factor in who wins the SEC. Second down and 6. Looked at Olazak to beat people defensively. There's very good penetration by the Iowa people up front. Larry Jones trying to find some running room. The linebacker came pounding in. That's Matt Hilliard, didn't make the tackle. Let's pause 5 seconds here to allow our ABC station to identify themselves. The team that most everybody had picked as the preseason #1 with a comfortable lead now as we go inside 9 minutes to play. Washington Huskies apparently scoring in their first possession out at Arizona State in Tempe tonight. Texas A&M, another one of the contenders today at LSU. Notre Dame, a big winner over Northwestern, though it took them a while to get going. Carlos Etheridge making that catch at the tight end. Etheridge is kind of an interesting guy in this whole scheme of things for Miami, with all of the offensive linemen who are hurt and so thin at the offensive front. If one of the tackles had been hurt tonight for Miami, Etheridge would have been the man to put on number 68 and go play a tackle position.
Well, and last year, when Erickson first asked him to maybe move sometimes offensive tackle, gain some weight, he said, I don't want to play offensive tackle. He actually lost some weight.
Here's the punt away, and it's a pretty good one. Fielded back at the 10-yard line by Jesper. And he'll return it. 3 yards. We'll be back with more after this message and a word from our ABC station. The ball sitting on the real grass, now covered with dew at 7:45 to go at Phoenix Stadium in Iowa City, and the Iowa Hawkeyes beleaguered. They're trailing 17-0 against one of the best defenses of the decade in college football. They're having no trouble with it. Jim Hartley trying to crank it up out of the shotgun. First and 10, 14. Lets it go. It is good to Hughes. Damon Hughes out to the 25 for a first down, and here's Jackaroo.
Keith, too often we read about the bad boy image of the Miami Hurricanes, but here's an interesting note. The CFA publishes the graduation averages, and the CFA average last year, as you can see, was only 57.1%. But look at the Miami team, 72.2%. Now, this is the 6th year that they've been above the CFA average, and they're only one of 16 schools that are on the honor roll, 16 teams that are above 70%.
Hey, Jack. Iowa's quarterback is a graduate student. You're seeing that more and more there. Here's a penalty flag thrown down. Another first down. The books to the left and picking it up. Let's see about the flag. I think it might be against the Hawkeyes. I think maybe number 3 got caught.
Illegal block above the waist.
They're very picky about that. We have a Miami player hurt. It's quarterback Dexter Sigler. Timeout for the injured player with 7:14 to play in the game, and this is what we have for you next week. Texas, Syracuse, Tennessee, Georgia. We also have Oregon, Stanford, Missouri, Illinois, Bowling Green, Ohio State. Check your local listings for the game on your ABC station, and then call your local cable operator if you'd like to see one of the others. See if he's offering it in your area. Available live on pay-per-view. That's next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern here on ABC Sports. I'm sure that Dennis Erickson and his entire coaching staff, with all of the 11 injuries they had, holding their breath every time one of their players is down, but they seem to bounce up.
Defensively, they haven't had many problems. And Dennis will tell you that when he came here 4 years ago, that when he saw that defense, they didn't want to change anything about it. They were very aggressive and they were very quick, and he has continued to recruit the same style, the same type of athlete, and the results have been the same.
So after the penalty, it's first down and 17 on the 18-yard line. Hartleave is back, pretty good protection. Pass is off, that's good to Jesper. Penalty made it exciting, and there's a penalty flag at the end of the play. I expect this one might go the other way.
I think it was a late hit right there by Miami, maybe.
Yep. So the personal foul is tacked on, and the Hawkeyes make a big move up the field.
So the defensive coordinator coordinator for Erickson, is up in the booth on the right side there, just having a little drink. Sonny Lubick, and he has been the coordinator. Miami has not allowed a point in the last 8 quarters, or a touchdown to be scored. They have done an outstanding job. They only allowed 9 touchdowns last year, and only 2 on the ground, and they have not allowed a point here this evening.
Now Iowa sits with a first down at the Miami 49, and the ball is given away to Cliff King. King carrying for the first time tonight. It's nothing. Texas Aggies went into the Southeast Conference Death Valley and won today. That's another defense that beat you like a drum. This is Damon Hughes. Caught the ball, squared his shoulders, and tried to bang inside the 40 and couldn't get there. So they're 2 yards short of the first down. The clock rolls along at 5:50 to go. Nebraska scored a lot of points against Utah. Colorado's pretty good with the new system that they put in out there. It's now a passing system.
They ain't going to pass in Colorado, see Oklahoma.
Georgia finally turned it on a little bit, broke loose. There's a game that was played Thursday night as Cale Gundy had a huge night. They went down into Lubbock. A lot of people thinking that Texas Tech might be one of the principal challengers to A&M in the Southwest Conference, but the Sooners made it look easy. California, pretty good sized win today, and there's a considerable win, a team that we were talking about earlier, the Maroons of Mississippi State. Alabama winning today, Tennessee winning today. We're setting up possibly a very important showdown on the 3rd Saturday in October. Knoxville.
The California win was the first win for Coach Gilbertson.
Keith Gilbertson.
Keith, yeah, coming down from the Huskies of Washington, wins his war opener.
I've had people suggest to me that Pittsburgh might have a fairly complete football team this year. They've filled some holes, and the quarterback is seasoned now, and they might be kind of troublesome. 3rd down and 2 from the 41-yard line. And a quick pop, that's good for the first down. Trying to break loose is Lampkin. And Lampkin will have the first down for the Hawkeyes at about the 30-yard line. Big score for Ole Miss over Auburn. Auburn has not been able to recover from all those shenanigans of a year ago. Some of the people they recruited did not qualify. Hartley lets it go deep. He's got a man. It's touchdown. Harold Jasper.
Well, Hartlett's going to get pretty good protection. He looks to his left, sets up, and then he throws to his right. He was looking to 3 safeties. Number 6 over to keep him away from Jasper. He beat number 4, White. He's going to release inside, and then he's going to come back to the outside. He's splitting the 2 defensive backs, and the throw is perfect. That's the first touchdown in 10 quarters against the University of Miami.
Andy Kreider for the extra point, and it's good. 5.5 minutes to play. It is now a 10-point Miami lead.
Things are different. The new Pontiac Grand Am Sports Sedan proves it. Things are better because its new overhead cam engine gives you more than outstanding power. It gives you better mileage than Accord or Camry for a whole lot less. In fact, Consumers Digest named Grand Am a Best Buy. Pontiac Grand Am, a new kind of driving excitement.
Oh, you looked scarier 25 years ago.
Did I?
You looked scared.
I don't know. I thought I hit it well for an innocent girl.
You were innocent for the 60s.
Any regrets?
None. You?
Just one. That I waited 25 years to give you this. The 25th anniversary diamond, a brilliant celebration of a loving marriage.
I've got goosebumps.
Well, you've given me goosebumps for 25 years.
Last night, Russ Beeler, owner of Lake Edna KFC, opened Hammer's eyes to new popcorn chicken. Delicious, crispy, bite-sized morsels. A whole new way to enjoy the Colonel's chicken. Come on, Hammer. The problem was, no one could get him to go on until the last piece was gone. New KFC popcorn chicken. Treat yourself for $1.99, the band just $5.99 in Lake Edna or your neck of the woods.
Before that Iowa scoring drive, Harold Jasper had not seen a pass. In that possession, he caught 2 balls, 49 yards, including the 31-yard touchdown reception.
Jasper is the only non-senior starter for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Everybody else, all 10 of them, are fifth-year seniors. Jasper, just a sophomore.
So now we see Miami putting a lot of sure-handed people up front, perhaps anticipating Iowa might try the onside. Todd Romano will be the man kicking. He, incidentally, is from Florida, West Palm. At 5.5 minutes, I might be more willing to just move on down. They are down by 10. It looks like onside, and it is. And it's kicked hard right into the hands of Ryan McNeil, a quarterback who is up playing the position. So McNeil just goes down and covers the ball. You do not, if you are a receiving team, have to wait for the ball to come to you. You go get it. It does not have to travel 10 yards for the receiving team to possess it. Only for the kicking team to cover it. There is the stunning upset of the day. I mean, that is startling. It was in Fayetteville, too. Citadel, yeah, that's right. They are 1-0.
Those big upsets are going to happen. Normally, they'll happen early in the season, first or second game.
Also beating Houston.
Yep.
Houston's in maybe lean times. They're trying to get new people into that. Not much there for Larry Jones. Brought down by Tyrone Boudreaux. The Green Wave beats the Ponies. BYU settling in for a big battle with San Diego State that tied USC today. Hawaii is thought by some to have to be a contender in the West. Donnell Bennett checks in. Motta joining the Western Athletic Conference. Beaten today by Wyoming. Here's Toretta's pass. It's right on the numbers, and it's complete down inside the 35-yard line of Iowa. It's a first half. And there's a healthy-looking kid. Sun-washed.
Copeland now has 7 catches, 89 yards.
Coming up on 4.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Miami first down. Ball at the Iowa 34. Run it with Jones. Bennett. Donnell Bennett. And Bennett's to the 19.
Let's go back and take a look at that touchdown. 2 deep zone for Miami. 5 short all along here. The receiver is here. Now he's going to go down, break in, and out to the outside. Watch as the quarterback will look to his left to hold the safety in. And then the receiver, Jasper, runs the corner route between them. Hartley with a great throw. That's the first touchdown against Miami in more than 2 games. Some big numbers there.
On first down, give it away again to the running back, Bennett. The Canes are perfectly content to pound the ball along on the ground. Tempers are getting a little short. Iowa frustrated, I'm sure. On Labor Day night, Monday, we invite you to join us here at ABC Sports for ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the season premiere. That old classic matchup, the Redskins and the Cowboys. I mean, it's always been a sick'em, and it will be again, 9 Eastern time, here on ABC Sports.
Jimmy Johnson, coach of the University of Miami. In fact, Dennis Erickson took a trip out there to camp. It's been a few days, so you can always learn something. You never know when you'll pick up something new.
Second down and 8, Toretta very quickly bangs it into the arms of number 35, Gerald Spencer. And Spencer goes flying in. Spencer's coming off what? Arthroscopy. Did he have a
knee surgery? Here he is right here. He's just going to beat the jam, get around here, and Toretta just going to get him the ball. Nice piece of avoiding the jam. Watch it right there, jam. Beats the jam. Looks for the ball. Good timing on the throw. Hurricanes come back, answer the touchdown by Iowa with one of their own.
And at 3:13 to play, I would suggest to you that was the door slam. Into the screen, good. And it's 24-7 Miami. Record crowd of 70,397. It was a record by 8 people over the old Kinnick Stadium record set. Iowa State came calling back in 1990. Now here's Jack.
Keith, let's tell you about the travel plans for the University of Miami. They are leaving Iowa City immediately following this game by charter. They are going to fly back to West Palm Beach, Florida, get on buses and travel back up to Dodgertown. Dennis Erickson before the game said they're going to load up their gear and leave early tomorrow morning to go back to Coral Gables, as you heard Dave Maggard say. But I said, are you going to give your team a rest? He says, yes, we're going to take Monday, Tuesday, and possibly Wednesday off. Not to heal, not to rest. He says, because my boys have got a lot of work to do down in South Florida.
Yeah, they got a little work to do.
Now, the coaches have a lot of work to do, too. We mentioned Erickson's home is severely damaged. Sonny Lubbock's home severely damaged. Unlivable. And I understand that they're going to be housing themselves in one of the hotels for a while until they really find out what's to be done.
Baseball scores drifting across your screen there. Dane Pruitt will kick off. Hughes and Jesper are the deep people for Iowa. It's a hanger for Dane and Hughes at the 16. Little help on the corner here. That's a fine return by Dane and Hughes out to the 42-yard line. Maybe the 43 before Rowan Marley got it down. Every time I look up, somebody making a tackle, Todd Barry points at some freshman. And just got him stockpiled.
Rowan Marley is the son of the reggae legend Bob Marley.
Here's your 800 number to help the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. Now, this includes Louisiana as well as Florida. That ball got loose, and the Miami Hurricanes have covered it, and it's Rusty Medeiros, who ought to be in time to take the rest of the night off. I mean, he was on that thing before it even really hit the ground. And Hayden disappointed.
Well, this emotion, the snap is too soon. Either Devlin snapped it too soon or Hartlett called for it too soon because the man in motion didn't even get across the center. Didn't matter to Medeiros. He just jumped on it.
Iowa's remaining schedule at Iowa State. That's never easy. That's the old battle for the state title. And then they have to go to Colorado. Then they have to go to Ann Arbor. Frank Costa in the ball game now at quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes. Frank, the man of the future for the Canes, turns and hands the ball to Danielle Ferguson, who is a freshman from Miami. Costa is a sophomore from Philadelphia, and here's your scoring summary. Dane Pruitt, a 27-yard field goal to make it 3-0. Second quarter, it went to 10-0 as Kevin Williams capped off a touchdown march with an 11-yard score. And Larry Jones ran it in from a yard to make it 17-0. Harold Jasper from 31 yards catches a Hartley pass 17-7. And Miami enters. Darrell Spencer takes it in from 17 yards. And that's where we are at 24-7. And here comes the freshman again, Ferguson.
He's a true freshman.
Yeah, he's just out of high school. You see Coretta with the pads that he wears around his ribcage. It looks like they're taping ice on the arm. And as many times as he's thrown the ball tonight, I would certainly think he would need some ice. It's like pitching. He's thrown it enough to have qualified for a full 9 innings, maybe 10.
While the clock is on, you're off the 3 yards.
They're down and 4.5 or 5. And Ferguson again. Coretta now 31 out of 51 for 433 yards, 2 touchdowns, intercepted 1 time.
Stop by number 49. You recognize that kid right there? Ferguson, number 7. He was in the backfield with my kid last week. Yeah. Brian was complaining. He says, we handed the balls off too much. He ran for too many yards. I wanted to throw some more.
Inside 2 minutes now as Frank Costa settles him for the snap. And it's 4th down and 3. And penalties flags are on the ground. That's what's stop them. It's still the first team, if you can call it that. It's the offensive line unit that started the ball game, hatched as it was. And its procedure against Miami. The executive producer of ABC Sports is Jack O'Hara. Coordinating producer of ABC's College Football is Bob Goodrich, who produced tonight's game in Iowa. Directed by Larry Cam. Our technical director, Gary Larkin. Associate producer for College Football is Jimmy Ressler. Associate director, Dave Kiviak. Our production manager, Lenny Nathan. Tech op managers, Les Weiss and Frank Fager. Assistants to the producer, Steve Shunk and Paula Coker. A statistician, Dave Burnson. He's been here so long, I don't even remember when he first came. Spotter Todd Berry, who, like Dave, has been around for a good long time. Mark Ameto, our computer statistics, our booth coordinator, Jenny Thompson, and our sideline coordinator, Dick Schafter, who thanks the weatherman very much for having been able to keep his feet dry.
Well, how did the top 10 do today? Miami and Washington both winning. Notre Dame, Florida State won. Michigan and Florida were idle. Everybody in the top 10 that played has either won or are winning. So there'll probably be no movement in the top 10 come Monday.
It takes about 3 weeks to sometimes 5 weeks on the season to really get some resolution on your top 10 teams anyway. The Huskies have gone to a 14-0 lead in the second quarter, and the story out there, of course, was Brett Powers left when he didn't have the job at quarterback, transferred to Ohio State. Garrick McGee was arrested on a burglary charge and suspended from the team. The number 3 man, a redshirt freshman, started for Arizona State at quarterback. And Bruce Snyder, who's new to the Arizona State program, coming over from Cal, just absolutely stunned last week with all of that development. But to be in the ball game with Washington at 14-0 in the second quarter is not that bad. Again, let us tell you that next week we'll have Texas, Syracuse from the Carrier Dome, Tennessee, Georgia down in Athens, Missouri, Illinois, Oregon, Stanford, Bowling Green, Ohio State. Check your local listings for the game on your ABC station, and then you should call your local cable operator to find out which of the regional games might be available for you live on pay-per-view, if you could choose to do some zapping.
My birthday. Send me a cake. Happy birthday, Mom. Send me a cake.
Gino, he looks like he's happy with the way things went. I would think that the Miami people have got to be reasonably satisfied, considering what has happened to them, considering what was dogging them during the days they were trying to prepare, and considering what happened to their families and their homes. But to come out here to Iowa City and win a ball game 24-7 against an Iowa team that is never easy here.
And improving off the game last week. Miami defensively outstanding, very aggressive, as we mentioned in the opening. Emotionally, they were fine. The offense had some problems, especially the timing, but Toretta just stepped up and really did some outstanding things in getting the ball to the wide receivers, and they did the rest.
There's an example, though, of that old foot speed. Hartlieb looked like he might be finding a way to pick up some yardage, and along comes a fellow named Marley, who's a freshman, just simply ran and filled the hole and stopped. There's just no substitute for speed. That's caught by Ryan Perry. And we're now counting off the seconds in the ball game as the Hurricanes are going to win this one, 24-7. And they will surely continue as number one, having played their first game now. As they were everybody's choice in preseason. Jim Hartley wants to go deep with it, does go deep with it, and the pass is incomplete. The pass was intended for Harold Tesker, the young man who caught the touchdown pass for the Iowa Hawkeyes. And that stops your clock at 37 seconds. I might, however, suggest to those in the Big Ten that don't write a W down beside your Iowa team.
That's for sure. They have a tough opening 4 or 5 games, as you mentioned, Iowa State next week, but then they go to Colorado and then Michigan. So one of the toughest schedules in the country, but so does Miami.
Hartlieb's pass is good. Anthony Dean catches the pass on the move, and it's a big play and first down for the Hawkeyes inside the Miami 30. And you've got 29 seconds left to play.
Basically the same pass that he threw for the touchdown to Jasper. A little post corner gets in between the double zone.
Pumps it, throws it, and out of bounds. They killed the clock. Tight end Matt Whitaker makes the catch. Academic, they're simply playing out the string now and learning as they go. Because you have only 23 seconds to play in the ball game. The issue has been resolved. Hartlieb's pass off the hands of Whitaker. I mean, right there. Up like a feather, right on his hands, and pounding along. The big tight end could not reel it in.
So we mentioned the tough times that Iowa's facing. Here you take a look at it. They played NC State, who was in the Peach Bowl last year. They lost that game. They're playing Miami, who was in the Orange Bowl. Next week is their arch rival. Colorado is next week, who was in the Blockbuster Bowl. And then Michigan is their 5th game of the year, and they were in the Rose Bowl. So if they can come out of that with 2 or 3 wins, after losing the first 2, they'll be doing very well.
Cross, the tight end, gets the drop-off pass from Hartlieb as he was trying to find anything he could find, and there's a penalty flag thrown in the area where Cross caught the ball. And your clock now shows 13 seconds. It'll be interesting next week, as far as I'm concerned, to see the Syracuse ball club, because we saw them last year a couple of times. They look pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Texas. You know, they haven't been known for their drop-back passing, and Makovic goes down there, who's been known for that.
Ineligible man downfield. They lose the down. They're looking now at 4th down, and as they go up to the line, this could be the last play. 13 seconds.
Receiver downfield also lost out.
So it's 4th down. The last chance for the Hawkeyes to put another point or so on the board. Hartlieb wants to go to the end zone, does go to the end zone, goes too far beyond the field of play. The pass is incomplete. Now Miami will have to snap the ball one time, and the game will be history. Jack?
Well, Keith, I've heard of all kinds of off-campus jobs during the summer. You know, most football players, they work in construction or they do something of that nature. Well, the center here, Devlin, for the Iowa Hawkeyes, listen to what he does for the last 3 summers. He grinds hamburger at a local supermarket. He likes to consider himself, as he told me, a 3rd-year meat apprentice. I'll tell you what, he's been grinding some hamburger out there tonight, too.
He's going to be a butcher. His playing days are over, and knowing Mike, he'll probably own it. One more snap, and that'll do it. Miami Hurricanes 24, the Iowa Hawkeyes 7. Frank Costa will take the final snap. He will hand it off to Daniel Ferguson. Ferguson still going. And finally out of bounds. The ball game is over. And there's your final score, 24-7. And the Hurricanes are off and running one more time. All the disaster and despair in the world. Gino Torretta walking there, the MVP for the Miami Hurricanes, 31 of 51, 433 yards. Jim Hartley for the Iowa Hawkeyes, 26 of 38, 266 and a touchdown. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund, rewarding outstanding students for academic achievements and helping those in financial need. And so the Hurricanes are blowing again. If they're coming your way, duck.
Will be at 11:30 a.m.
You're looking down on the biggest house in college football, Michigan Stadium, Ann Arbor. Today, more than 100,000 people will come for an 80th consecutive time to watch the Michigan Wolverines play against the #1 team in the nation, the Miami Hurricanes. Miami opened their season beating the preseason favorite Florida State 31-0. Coach Jimmy Johnson, 5th season, 42-8. They've won their last 19 road games. They have the nation's longest winning streak at 13 straight. Now listen to it. We've got the teams in place. All we got to do now is put it on the tee and play the game. And we are ready to play ball at Michigan Stadium. And it's Hill a yard deep in the end zone. And he has a whole